What's good, GVO crew? It's your girl back with another video. And if you are new here,
oh hi, thanks for checking in. I'm still a piece of garbage.
And welcome back to another episode of the TalkToMeNice Podcast, where we have Talk to Me Tuesdays. Basically, on Talk to Me Tuesdays, we chop it up, real conversation, just me and you, no one else. I asked you guys on Instagram, what are some things you've learned as a creator, as an influencer, as an artist? Because for today's topic, I wanted to talk about some tips that I have for when kind of you get discouraged with your art or things are getting kind of tough, you know, you're not in the right space or right in the headspace to create. So I want to talk about some things that I've learned and kind of help remind me to stay motivated. But before we get into this topic, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can keep up with all the Talk to Me Nice episodes, which are in a playlist right here on my channel. Also, be sure to follow me on Instagram so that you can have your response featured in the next episode. And with no further ado, let's just get right into this topic. So, we are back finally with another episode. I think it's been maybe a smooth 3 months since the last one, because the last one was definitely during the summer and it is winter time, sis. Girl, come on. Do better, sweetie. But I knew for sure for the 12 day series, which is going on right here on my channel, where I upload every single day for 12 days up until Christmas. So I hope you guys are enjoying that. I knew for sure I definitely want to bring the podcast back for a little special episode. And I was just thinking about some of the things that I've learned this year, not only as a person, but as a artist, as a content creator. And in the past few months, ever since the last episode of the podcast, actually, I've been able to connect with a lot of other creators and a lot of artists just like myself, producers, engineers, singer, songwriters. So you guys really chimed in when I asked you what are some things that you've learned. So I'm super excited to get into this. Some of your responses were so good. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go back and forth between like the list of tips that I have for you guys and then some things that you guys have learned as well. So my first tip for trying to stay motivated as a creator or as an artist is to do it for the love. Just kind of remind yourself why you do what you do. Hopefully at this point, you know, if you found something you're passionate about, you just do it because you love it. You don't do it to, you know, ultimately just to have money, even though we like a nice little check, we're trying to get to the bag for sure, but making sure that ultimately you do it because at the end of the day, you love it. It's what you're passionate about. Even, you know, when no one's looking, that's what you're working on. It's what you're thinking about. You know, if you're not doing it solely to get recognition or solely to be famous, you know, why do I do this? Oh, I do this because I love it. I make music because I love it. I design clothes because I love it. I make cartoon anime characters because I love it. You know, I like to make YouTube videos because I love it. I love editing. I love the process. So I always try to remember the reason why I do what I do, and that's because I love it. But my good friend and I said, when I asked you guys on Instagram, what are some things that you guys have learned? And she said that never try to ride somebody else's wave, create your own. And I feel like that's really important. I feel like as artists or just as creatives, we obviously get inspired by so many things, by music, you know, by other people's art. But it's so important to really find your identity as yourself. You know, what are things that you love? You know, what are the things that you want to incorporate in it? And once you really start to find that identity and really be focused on yourself and who you are as a creator, it will make everything easier and everything will fall into place. And then you'll also know when people really start connecting with your art, or they tell you like, hey, what you did really inspired me. That song or like that painting, that drawing, that video was really impactful on me. It will feel so much more rewarding because, you know, man, that's 100% me. Like, this is what I want to do. Like, this is my wave. This is like what I like, and people are messing with it. So that actually leads me into one of my other tips, which is don't compare yourself or your craft or your art to somebody else's or to others. And I'm a person, like, I do this constantly. I'm pretty sure I've talked about this on multiple occasions on this podcast, but I'm inspired by a lot of things, inspired by a lot of people. So it's so easy when you're inspired by people or you're really trying to push yourself to get better at your craft. So easy to compare yourself. You could be like, man, my video didn't get as many views as hers, or oh man, my writing skills aren't as good as hers, or even my photo didn't get as many likes as hers and I put so much time into it, you know, or this video didn't do as well as that content creator's video, even though mine was better, my editing was better. You know, it's so easy to get caught up in that. One of the reasons why this is so dangerous because like you can get to a point, and I have, where you compare yourself so much to others that anything that you try and do in that headspace is never going to measure up. It's always going to be disappointment. You're always going to be disappointed because you're not even comparing it to what you know is your best. You're comparing it to what you assume or you think is somebody else's best. And you don't want to get in that headspace. So never try to compare yourself to others. I'm still trying to get better at it. Girl, we are not perfect. But, I've realized that when I get like that, it really does create a hindrance on me creative-wise. Even in times, where it's really difficult, you always have to remember, why you do what you do. Like I said, you do it because you love it, but you just got to keep going. We all have days where we're going to be like just exhausted, tired, feel like, oh my goodness, no one's listening, no one's watching, no one's paying attention, or man, everyone's sleeping on me. If your motives are right and you are doing what you do because you love it, you're going to keep going at the end of the day. Another tip that I wanted to give to creators, just to stay motivated, is don't be scared to elevate. Don't be scared to push yourself. Try new things. There's always going to be those things that your audience really likes about you, what first attracted them to you in the first place, but don't let complacency become a hindrance. You always want to elevate and you always want to get better at your craft, whether it's if you like to draw, always becoming better as, an artist. If you like to find new business gimmicks to help grow your company, like whatever it is, or you're a producer, you want to branch off and try different genres of music, or you're a singer, you want to try different genres, different writing styles, don't be scared to elevate. Because I can say personally with me, a song that I put out, which you guys know, Tweakin', that song, when I first wrote it, that was just me having fun. I literally heard the beat to Tweakin' and was just having fun. Like, one thing I have always really prided myself on being a vocalist and a singer. Like, that's what I really love to do. So I was kind of really closed off from even venturing into anything else. And Tweakin', obviously, when you listen to it, is a song that's more like kind of melodic rap influenced. And that's not even, and it's kind of ironic because during the summer and like really with the past few months, melodic rap has been one of my favorite things to listen to this year. So, that influence coming in. So don't be scared to elevate, because I put out Tweakin' and I was terrified. I'm like, I'm not really singing on this. Like, I'm kind of just vibing. I'm having fun. I don't really know if people are going to like this, but you guys loved Tweakin' and I was surprised and I was happy. Most of the time when your audience or people around you can see that you're trying to push yourself and be better, they're going to really love that. No one wants to see anybody, if people really want to see you do well, no one wants to see you be complacent. I feel like anybody in your life should push you every day to be a better version of yourself. So don't be scared to elevate. It's always, a little iffy to try new things, but that's a major lesson I learned this year is don't be scared, try new things. So, might have to drop some bars on you every once in a while, you dig. And also another thing somebody said was you really just have to be you and do you regardless of the feedback. And that is so true. That goes into don't comparing yourself to others. And that goes along with what my friend Cam said. He said authenticity is a major key in people relating to or supporting your art. So that goes into, once again, don't compare yourself to others and don't be scared to elevate. Even like just be yourself and people will love you for that. If you haven't noticed, there's a lot of things in the industry, there's a lot of things online that are not real and that are not genuine and that are not authentic. So when people see someone just being their genuine selves, riding their own wave, doing what they love, it's going to naturally attract people. That's going to attract natural engagement. People are going to naturally love what you do. So don't worry about like, man, this is weird that I do this, or this is kind of different. No one's ever done this. Those are the things you should probably try to do if you feel like no one's ever done this or like no one's ever tried to. So with the things that you feel like, man, this thing about me is kind of quirky, or this thing when I make music, when I mix music, this thing I do when I edit, this thing I do when I film, this thing that I design for my clothing company is different. No one's ever done this. Don't be scared, because that's a part of you and your DNA and who you are as an artist, and you trying to express yourself. So don't be scared of that. Be authentic and be you. And trust me, it's so rewarding, I think, especially if you're a songwriter and we write lyrics. It's so rewarding when you have the words come out of your mouth, put them on paper, then you put it out for the world to hear, and someone comes back to you and says, man, that lyric or that chorus, that really resonated with me. Like what you said really moved me. That's what it's about, because you weren't trying to make something like seem super deep. You were just being authentic and being real, and that's why that person felt that way that they did towards your art. So what Cam said was major, because I feel like being authentic is something that people love and adore, and that they just naturally just are attracted to. Another tip that I have to constantly remind myself of is don't get caught up in numbers. As influencers, because I do have some friends that are influencers with over like 15K followers. Can't relate. We ain't got no clout over here, fam. But, it's so easy to get caught up in numbers. I mean, I feel that the most with my YouTube. My YouTube, I feel like, is probably one of my bigger platforms. And it's really grown significantly over the past 3 months. And I've always had to remember to make the content that I love. A lot of you guys know this summer I posted a video where I said I wasn't going to be reacting to music videos or singles anymore. And during the process, and that was all I was reacting to, it eventually became a chore for me, and I wasn't having fun as a creator. I felt like I was being held back. And when the day I actually decided to film the Daniel Caesar Case Study 01 album, was actually just kind of really just to see how I felt while I filmed it and how people reacted to it, ironically enough. And when people reacted the way they did, I was like, oh, wow. Like, so doing the album reviews for me was kind of like a breaking point, because it was either I was going to stop doing reactions altogether, or I could try to make it fun again for me as a creator. And doing the album reviews is so much more fun, so much more rewarding. It's content that I have to spend the time editing, which I love. It can be a pain in the butt, but like I have a love-hate relationship with editing, but doing the reviews became fun. It made the reactions fun again, because I wasn't just sitting on your screen for like 4 or 5 minutes and then it'd be over. I was actually could give you guys in-depth reasons to why I love this song or I love this body of work, and it's so rewarding. So you always have to be authentic in what you choose to put up, whether it be in your music. I've written like 1 or 2 songs that I really dove deep into myself, because honestly, those songs, even though I wrote them and I do plan on releasing them, those were for me. Those are therapeutic. I think this was the first time after writing, my own music, because I used to always write poems back in high school and in middle school. Poetry and writing has always been a big part of my life, but this year really with songwriting, it became therapeutic to me, and I finally understood when I've heard some of my favorite artists say like, I wrote this because I needed to get it out. And when I wrote a certain song, that's what it was. It was an outlet for me to express myself and to, really get over some not mental, but it's kind of basically something in my life that was happening that, was very difficult and that I had to learn from. And that's what that song helped me realize. It was kind of like me venting, because I don't really like to talk about stuff too much. So that song was a really major point in me trying to move past something in my life. So yeah, be authentic and be you. And my friend Tori said, you have to be your biggest fan and go hard for yourself. And that's true. No one's going to ride for you and rock for you like you do. I mean, you have your friends, people that support you, but you have to make sure 100% that you believe in what you're doing. And I find that to be true, because I was thinking about that the other day. I got to be 100% confident that the music I'm putting out, the content I'm putting out, like, is good and that I rock with it. Because at the end of the day, there are some songs that I put out that are clearly, is not my audience's favorite. I mean, they like them, but I know what my audience seems to like and engage with, like here on my channel. I know what you guys really like and engage with here with my videos. So, but at the end of the day, even when I put out content that doesn't do what I expected to do, so I don't get caught up in the numbers, like I said, I know at the end of the day, like, I had fun making it. I had fun editing it. I had fun filming it. I had fun recording this song. I had fun doing whatever. And that's what it's about. If I'm a fan of my own work, a fan of my craft, then, at the end of the day, no matter what the reaction is, I know that I'm ultimately going to be happy with it. And that's all that matters. And that leads me to another one of my tips is don't let negativity last. I want to point out that it's okay to get frustrated. It's okay to get discouraged, because that happens. But it's important to not stay in that state of mind for so long. I've been in places where I didn't write music for months, weeks. I've been in that space where I didn't want to upload videos. I went through a time where I didn't really upload, wasn't really consistent. because I was getting discouraged when, videos didn't do what I thought they should do, when, I would put out music and it didn't do what I thought it should do. When I let all that stuff go and stop getting caught up in it and not sitting in the headspace and for songs being like, you know what? Okay, this didn't do what I projected it to do, but I'm going to keep going. You can't get down when something doesn't do what you think it should. So it's always important to, have your moment, have your time to be sad and upset, whatever, but don't let it last for too long, because you got to keep going, got to keep creating. You have so many more ideas that, other people will love. So always keep going, because as a creative, you can never run out. And my friend Brian said, not everyone is going to like what you have to say or what you do. So stick to your beliefs. And that's so true. Just the other day, I was offered kind of like a paid promotion type of thing. And, here on my channel for me to kind of promote somebody's stuff. The only thing about it was like they wanted me to make a certain type of content that I don't make anymore, because it was, like I said, not very satisfying to me as a creator. So, I had to be like, even though I would be getting paid for it, that's great, but I know I'm not going to have fun filming it. It's easy to tell what's going on, how I'm feeling through my face. I show a lot of my emotions through my face. And like, if you can, I feel like for a fact, you guys would be able to feel something was off during like an upload. Like, what I'm saying? Like if I wasn't 100%. So I'm not going to put out content that's half anything. I've never been the one to do that. So, it's true. You just got to stick to your beliefs. What you believe, don't do anything that goes against your gut. Always stick to what you know. And, that comes with saying, from one of my next points, is don't be scared sometimes to step back. When we get discouraged, we get all negative about our work, sometimes you have to take a step back and reevaluate, why we do it, why I'm unique as a creator, as an artist, as a singer, as a songwriter, as a designer. Reevaluate those reasons. We can't always go 24/7. And I feel like sometimes the negative about when you just go all the time is that you don't have a time to really see what it was that you did to improve on it. It leads you, it's consistency for sure, but you have to make sure that you're always elevating each release, each drop, each video, each song, each album, each EP, making sure that you're elevating. So it's okay to take a step back at times and just really figure out, refocus what it is and what your message is. So there's nothing wrong with that. Next one, which is probably my favorite one. When I saw it, I was like, I love this. My friend Tev said, consistency is more important than clout. And this is so major. I'm sure on Instagram, we see all the time, we see other designers, you see other beauty gurus, you see other influencers, other artists. So I feel like a lot of times with this, it's so easy to get caught up in numbers. Like I said, when you see people that have a lot of clout, and like sometimes the fact of the matter is not everyone that has clout exactly has talent. Not everyone that has clout is valid. So you can't get caught up in that. Just because someone has a whole bunch of followers, a whole bunch of likes, a whole bunch of people commenting on their stuff doesn't mean that what you're doing or what you're trying to do is not just as good. So with the consistency is more important than clout. When you are consistently getting better at what it is that you love to do, and every single day striving to be a better artist, better designer, better influencer than you were today, that's what matters. I know we see a whole lot of people with clout and thinking, oh man, that's what I want. You have to think, no, because not everyone that has clout not everyone that has clout is necessarily putting out great content. And I feel like that's pretty much, I don't really have to explain that. You guys know, like, sometimes I feel like I've seen a lot of people really work hard. I've watched people come up, they work so hard, and then they get all the clout, have all the success, and then their content or whatever becomes subpar, and you can tell it's not 100%. So that's what you never want to happen. I feel like even when you do get all the comments, all the likes, all the views, that's great, but you always got to remember, like, I don't want to have to do anything it's going to be 100% each time, because I feel like people will be able to tell when something is subpar or it's not 100%. So stay consistent in getting better. So I guess you could add that to one of the tips. I didn't really have that in there, and my last tip that I have for you guys, this is more so like, I don't really know what, a lot of you guys' religion is and stuff like that, but y'all know I'm Christian, and mine is just to don't lose focus of God, because sometimes when I get really consumed in what's going on with me and me, like sometimes I forget to kind of, make sure that I have God first in everything that I do, because any opportunity, any door that opens is because of Him. So always try to remember, whatever it is, and whatever it is, if you do have the same beliefs as me, that you keep God first ultimately, and that's the most important thing, out of anything that I've said to you guys right now. Don't lose focus of what God has, because if you lose focus, you may not see what He has for you. You may miss an opportunity. So, let Him open those doors and everything else will fall into place naturally. But yeah, no, that's pretty much it. That's all I have for you guys. You guys sent me so many great things. I'm so glad that you guys chimed in when I asked. I tried to post it early because I knew I was going to be recording it pretty much the same day. But I'm trying not to make this too long. So quickly, I'm going to try to get into kind of why the last episode was so far apart from this one. The schedule that I had it on became very time consuming. In terms of just like, I was becoming overwhelmed, basically. I already upload 2 times a week on Mondays and Fridays, and adding a third day and way Monday, then Tuesday, like there's no space in between. Like what I should have did was probably Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but I didn't want to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday because like it's Talk to Me Tuesdays. Come on now, it was cute. So that's what it was. I got really overwhelmed with trying to upload 3 videos a week, and this one, even though the podcast doesn't take a whole lot of time to edit because I'm not really doing anything too fancy, it takes more time for me to film and sit down and like everything like that. So going forward in the new year, I will be bringing the podcast back for sure. This is going to be, I think, the last episode for this year. So I guess the first season is over. I don't know what we're going to call it. But definitely in 2020, I will be bringing the podcast back. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload the podcast episodes like on block schedule. So like on an off week. So like y'all will get an episode one week on Tuesday, then next week none, and then you have the next video. You guys are still going to get the 2 uploads from me like you normally do on Monday and Friday. But I think the block schedule with the podcast kind of takes a little bit of the pressure off, and it will help me to stay more consistent with it. And that's pretty much it. I didn't want you guys to think that I quit the podcast, because I didn't. I love doing it. It's fun. I enjoy it. You guys seem to enjoy it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please be sure to subscribe once again so you can keep up with all the videos I have right here on my channel. The 12 day series is going on. Hope you guys are enjoying that. Also be sure to give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video as well. And whatever you do not forget to click that bell so that you get notified every single time I post. Once again, be sure to follow me on Instagram so you have your response featured in the next episode. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time with another video.